can.
Budget's now in better shape.
We're financially responsible now.
If we can make an amendment to it, it's not here, or if we just get the right one.
Jacob, I'm gonna have to leave at 10 o'clock this morning.
Okay, we'll try to make.
Okay, I just,
But,
I know. So this thing that Aaron sent yesterday, did you see this?
no.
It's an amendment for,
It's basically for topography and easements on the riverside so that we can do the deeds. We need the easements before doing the deeds. We're ready with all the legals. So what I'm trying to do is get the funding so that we can get that done and just be done with that. But it says redevelopment because that's where we paid most of it out of.
I was gonna say, is this part of the 45 or the,
This would be additional to what redevelopment's currently paying.
Okay.
But because of our time frame, we're gonna try to just either pay it out of ours or if redevelopment later says they'll pay. Kind of do that, but.
when you say out of ours, are you talking about out of yours or out of the Board
Yeah.
of Works?
Board of Works and mine, we're splitting it in half.
split it in half
If redevelopment doesn't approve it, but we wanted to get them working on it. They didn't, I just sent them yesterday that I saw that was redevelopment still. Is it okay to pass and then just make an amendment here that it needs to say that, or do we need to?
We should have the actual,
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Cause I told them it'd be city as well as Board of Works signature. They just haven't sent it on to me, so I'm gonna see if we can still do it.
and it should be to the city.
Right, so you wouldn't
contract.
sign it, but could we approve it with that?
Yeah, I guess you can. We just need to have it signed in. We need a signed copy with
Right,
the,
I'm hoping they'll send it today, but I
with the
just
correct.
sent, I just. The naked pickleball.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would, yeah.
City of Logansport.
I know, I told them last night, so they can.
Right, just, yeah, I would say that you just need to make, because you're gonna have to amend
The agenda
anyway.
Yeah.
So then
We'll
the,
make a motion.
make a motion to amend
Financing address.
the address.
Or get actual.
Yes.
I'll talk with him. I'll try to get hold of him.
Okay, so I wanna check on. All right.
there it is.
Yeah.
No, you
I think there's a real picture.
All right, good morning. It's 9:33 a.m., Wednesday, January 11th, 2023. Deputy Mayor Jacob Palmestad calling to order the regular session of the Logansport Board of Public Works and Safety. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call.
Adrian Grant,
Here.
Chris Martin, absent. Jacob Palmesel.
Here. All right, on to the approval of minutes for the January 4th, 2023 meeting. We'll probably have to table those since I wasn't here. So I guess we'll just move on from those until next week. So on.
You're gonna make a motion to table those then?
Need a motion?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion to table the January 4th minutes.
Second?
All right. Call for question.
Jacob Palmesel,
Yes.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
All right, on to the approval of claims for $415,200.79. This includes claims of $75,457.16, payroll of $257,564.46, ordinance 2022-07 for $90,000, TIF downtown claim for $1,779.17, and a TIF East End claim for $400. I'll make a motion to approve the claims as presented.
Second?
Okay. Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Palmesel,
Yes.
Adrian Grant.
Yes.
All right, public comment. Anyone from the audience who'd like to come up and say something, please state your name and address and Morning, Tom.
This hot Steve here, next to the mic.
Yes, exactly.
Tom Nelson. I live at 1523 East Broadway, but I also own Servants Heart Home Health, which is located at 1714 Dividend Drive. And I'm here to talk about just briefly, and then I'll throw it to you guys if we need to get a slot on the agenda for a future meeting. I'm more than happy to do that. Had a couple of conversations with Mayor Martin about the speed limit when it was changed to 20. They were all phone calls. I don't have any emails, but the gist of our conversation was it was kind of a test when they put up the 20-mile-per-hour signs to see how people would respond. And I was doing physical therapy at the time, seeing Todd Reef, and he immediately he's the owner of sports medicine at corner of Chase and Dividend. And he's like, 20 miles an hour? We've had a school here for more than 20 years. And all of a sudden, we go from 35 to 20. And I spoke with Michelle Starkey yesterday, and in a couple of email conversations, I asked if she could make it. She has a staff meeting this morning, so she couldn't be here. So we may need to get on the agenda to present. But the gist of our conversation was neither one of us like being tailgated, and neither one of us want to get a ticket for driving in excess of 20 miles an hour on that road, especially her being, superintendent of schools. But she also indicated that she doesn't really appreciate being tailgated. My proposal. I don't know what the cost is for the flashing yellow signs that you sometimes see when you go through school zones. But the idea of the flashing yellow signs to draw everybody's attention to school is in session. Now is the time you need to obey the posted speed limit for that time of day. If you consider the traffic on Miami near Franklin School, it's predominantly in a residential area where the speed limit is normally 30 miles an hour. It's reduced to 20 during times when children are present. And that's great. You've also got crossing guards there who are trying to help children cross safely. So 20 miles an hour during those school times is probably a great thing. The traffic on Chase Road is predominantly automotive. There is no pedestrian crosswalk there at this time for school children to walk to school. It's all automotive traffic. And I would like to suggest that the speed limit be 25 miles an hour during times when the children are present. Now, whether that's by posting, from 7 a.m. to 8:30 and then in the afternoon from 2:30 to 4, I don't know what the heavily traveled times are. I mean, we've only been in there, a few days, so we don't really know what those are yet. But I would like for you to please consider adjusting those speed limits so that 25 should be good enough, especially when it's all automotive traffic and not pedestrian. And so if you'd like for me to get support, I'll do a Paul Willem and get signatures on a petition.
Maybe not that far, but.
Okay.
But-
I'd be happy to do that.
So we knew you were coming in today, so talked about it a little bit yesterday with the mayor and some of our staff. And our feeling is that this is something that we'll probably reevaluate after this semester of school. So I don't think we want to get into changing the speed limits back and forth while we're trying to get a feel for what this new school is going to do out there. 'Cause like you said, there has been school activity out there for a while, but not nearly at this scale with the traffic. And I know it's not supposed to be, a walking school, but that's gonna happen regardless, just from some of those neighborhoods there. We're trying to improve some of the pedestrian access there anyway in some of our future projects. But our feeling is that, number one, we had Tony go and drive it, and what was it, about 18 to 20 seconds more than it takes you to drive 20 than to drive the current speed limit. I know it was kind of shocking for people that were used to just using that as a cut through or whatever. But as far as the school being there, like you said, it's only been a couple days. I think over the next couple of months, we're going to keep it how it is and see, whether it's needed at that level. And if it's not, then we'll get feedback from people like you and whoever you talk to, after the end of the school year, we can really reevaluate and kind of make some of those determinations on what the long-term, look of that corridor is going to be. Because there's also the chance that, some more residential, housing goes out in that area as well, off of some of that land that I know the redevelopment commission's looking at. And so, you got to take all of that into account as well, which we're going to try to do over the next couple of months. So I do appreciate it, and I've heard from a lot of people about their concerns with that as well, but we're going to opt towards, student safety at this point.
Sure.
And then see what comes of it the next couple of months. Chief, you have something?
Jacob, if I may, we got to take in consideration as well is that we're only seeing half the student body there right now. We're not even, the school isn't even full operational status. So I believe the number of students there is going to be 640 plus students, and that's not counting staff. So right now, you only have half of the school open.
Yeah.
So the half of the traffic flow right now is present. Considering what's probably going to happen in August, I'm assuming that the rest of the school will be 100% operational, how that traffic will change from there. So you won't have a real understanding of it until probably until next fall.
Yeah.
When you look at it in that sense. I know I've talked to Tony, he has gone up and drove it, so has our officers. And once school got in place and got started rolling, we're going to put officers up there, obviously, to because it's a new area. We want to make sure, just like on 18th and 35, Tony went out and set, our officers went out and set over the weekend. We want to obviously have that traffic enforcement, just so the citizens know and be aware. So if somebody is being tailgated or somebody is speeding, that they're there, not necessarily writing tickets, but it's just that of an understanding to get used to the area. Whether it stays 20 or 25, it's still a 10 or 15 mile an hour difference. I don't think 5 miles an hour changes a lot of things, but it's still a change. So we want to make sure that we'll get officers out there. We're only in the school year a couple of days, so we want to get guys out there and officers to run that area to make sure it's safe for everybody traveling. And then take a true assessment once 650 kids and staff are in school. I think that's fair to look at.
Well, my main thing is during school hours, during the times when the school is, highly being trafficked, the 20 mile an hour speed limit throughout, 24 hours a day, is that really necessary? So if we could zero in on the busy times when there's school traffic,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Yeah, and you run into the issues. They're going to have sporting events there likely as well, so that will go outside of school hours, and there'll be a lot of other considerations as we kind of see how they're going to use it and how people navigate around it. And what he said is right about not being at full capacity. Hopefully, we can have some kind of a feel for how it's used and how people will navigate that area while it's there by the end of the semester. But yeah, we got to take it all into consideration. But yeah, of course, over the next couple of months, as you talk to people and you get a better feel for it, we'll be open to conversation on it. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. All right. Any other public comment? Anybody else have anything for us? Seeing none, no old business. We'll go on to new business, contracts and agreements. Proposed financial advisory and accounting services contract for Baker Tilly. Dwayne?
Yeah, this is our renewal of what we've had in the past. And I've also included in this contract the city council and the mayor's office, if you guys want to use them. Everybody has budgeted funds in their budget for this. So this is to allow for our use when we need and without having to worry about passing something in the future. And it's just, like I said, it's the same as last year.
All right. I'll go ahead and make a motion to accept the financial advisory and accounting services agreement with Baker Tilly.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Jake Palmso,
Yes. All right. Jan, we have MR Louthane, agreement of services for a new pad foundation for the pavilion at Thrones Park.
Good morning. This is the pavilion that's the Career Center is going to be building. We're going to do the concrete professionally, though, and then the kids are going to be the ones to actually build it. So out of a shelter kit. So anyways, that's which is supposed to arrive in the beginning of March. So we really need to have the concrete ready to go. So
This is in your budget for the project then?
yes,
or-
actually, it's the rest of the donation fund in with a little bit of our building and structure money. So yeah,
Okay.
it was we got it covered.
All right. Well, I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the Louthane agreement.
I will second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jake Palmsall,
Yes.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
All right. And now we have maintenance agreement for Cardinal Copier Solutions.
Got to keep that copier.
Self-explanatory, I think. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the Cardinal Copier Solutions agreement.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Jake Palmsall,
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jan. All right. And then the contract renewal for APX Solutions. Chief?
Morning.
Morning.
So what I've got here is just our renewal for the APX, which is our software we utilize for inspections and pre-plans. We had started this out last year, ran it through the year, and then I'm asking the board to accept it's a 3-year agreement paid annually. The reason for the 3 years, just I get a better pricing structure, so. It's $2,937.60 per year, and I do have it budgeted in my budget.
Awesome.
All right. I'll make a motion to accept the contract renewal for APX Solutions.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jake Palmsall,
Yes.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Okay, and then before we get out of contracts and agreements, I will make a motion to add the contract amendment number 2 from HWC Engineering for the East Side redevelopment 8th and Race Street project to the agenda.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Palmsall,
Yes.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Okay, and then on this, we need to make an amendment to this contract that was just added to change the client's name to City of Logansport from Logansport Redevelopment Commission. So I'll make a motion to amend the contract to say City of Logansport.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Jacob Palmsall.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so now that we have that settled, I will go ahead and, actually, I'll let, Aaron, do you want to just give people a quick overview of what this is and what it'll do for us?
So the contract that's before you, we are currently doing legal descriptions and survey basically of the area of where the old coal plant was and the water plant, because it's currently not parceled out. With that, since it was always used by Logansport Utilities, they don't currently have easements located over all of their different utilities in that area. So as we started talking after that contract went through and I went and sat down with them, we found out there's quite a few areas that we're going to need easements. Initially, we thought maybe 1 or 2. And so there's going to be an additional cost in doing that, as well as topography, so that we can, for the parking lot, determine how it's going to flow for stormwater and those type of things. So those are added to a contract that's already held by Redevelopment Commission. What we're needing to do is finish out those 2 things with that project. So I'm looking to get that approved for $12,500, and we talked about splitting it half out of my budget, half out of Board of Works budget.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Did you have any questions? Okay, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve contract amendment number 2 for HWC Engineering.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Jacob Palmsall,
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. no more contracts and agreements. On to the fire department, monthly report for December 2022.
Okay, so for the month of December, we had 164 alarms, one structure fire, 18 false alarms, one vehicle fire, 6 vegetation trash fires, 104 first responder calls, 2 extrications, 2 other rescues, 1 hazmat call, 8 service calls, 4 power line incidents, and 7 smoke odor calls, 9 multiple vehicle accidents. The one fire we had was on December 24th at 10 West Miami Avenue. We ran into several complications with that due to the extremely cold temperatures. Equipment was failing. The house had been added on to multiple times, and the fire actually was located a lot in the voids. I think we were on scene for around 6.5, 7 hours. And we did have 2 firefighters sustain minor injuries. One was with a back, another one was with his hand. They have both returned to work, fully active. Then fire investigator was requested. It still under investigation. And then we also called out the building commissioner. And obviously the house is a total loss. And then I've also attached to my mileage report for the month of December.
All right, thank you, Chief. I'll make a motion to accept the fire department's monthly report for December 2022.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jake Bombsall,
Yes.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Great.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, on the police department, monthly report for December 2022. Chief?
Let's see, for December, we had 21,958 miles, 655 calls for service, 81 arrests, 178 traffic stops, 30 citations, 152 warnings were issued. Criminal investigation, investigated 11 cases, 4 are still active, and they closed out 7. Our Cass County Drug Task Force investigated 13 cases, 6 arrests were made from those, 11 were methamphetamine, and 2 were from other, involving other criminal activity. Animal control took 23 calls within the city limits. 11 were unfounded, 4 animals taken to the shelter, and then 1 written warning, and he did 11 follow-up cases as well.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and make a motion to accept the monthly report for December 2022.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Jake Bombsall,
Yes. All right, now the annual report for 2022.
For the year of 2022, we had almost 300,000 total miles driven, 297,205. Answered 8,931 calls for service. We made 1,203 arrests. We made 3,413 traffic stops with 534 citations and 3,047 warnings. Criminal investigations investigated 190 cases. They closed out 172 with 18 of them still being investigated. Drug Task Force investigated 194 cases. They made 115 arrests. 104 were methamphetamine related. 11 were heroin or fentanyl related investigations, 3 cocaine, 39 marijuana, and 37 involving other criminal activity. Animal control reports 446 calls within the city limits. 3 state statutes were issued. 35 city ordinances were issued. Looks like he took 137 animals to the shelter, 73 written warnings, and 196 follow-up consultants. And then I also highlighted some of the highlights from 2022 of some improvements. Couple things, I don't have, if it's all right, not read through the whole list, but obviously the police department is now under construction. They should be done potentially it looks like end of July, or end of June, beginning of July timeframe, that we could potentially take over and be moved in down there. We had a good turnout, so I want to thank Lodge 71, our FOP Lodge 71 with Shop with a Cop. I believe we had close to 70 kids participate in that. We had a good golf outing this year. I want to thank Jan. She actually put me in contact with the Toys for Tots right before Christmas. And we was able to drive around in our squad cars and hand out over 200 Christmas presents to children around town. I think it was a couple of days before Christmas. So one of the shifts went around and was just able to find kids in town during their Christmas break and hand out toys. So that was pretty cool. So thanks, Jan. Our body cams are in the process of being ordered and implemented and with our Lexipol systems as well. So just a couple things. We hired 5 officers in the year of 2022, 2 from different agencies. 2 we had rehired and 1 new hired. And looking forward to the next domestic violence task force self-defense class, which I believe will probably happen here in the next 30 to 60 days as well. We had a really good turnout for that too. So
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well, thanks for what you guys did this year.
yeah.
thank you.
Good year. All right. I'll make a motion to approve the annual report for the police department.
Second, did you hear me? Sorry.
No, I didn't. Call for question.
Jake Palmsall,
Yes.
Adrian Grant,
Yes,
Thanks, Chief.
thanks, John.
All right, street department, monthly report for December 2022. Orin Tony?
Yeah, for the monthly report, we hauled 87 loads of brush, 49 loads of bags to the compost site. We had 7 emergency call-outs during the month. Hauled another 7,500 tons of sweepings to the landfill. Spent 160 hours cleaning catch basins, 128 hours of overtime. Spent 140 hours at the compost site. 64 hours filling potholes, 150 hours cutting back alleys and streets and signs. And we went back out after leaf backs were put up with the front end loader and cleaned up the last few piles. The last people got out for a total of 181 loads this year. This ended up being this year the quickest we've ever gotten it done in my 7 years and the most we've ever picked up.
Wow.
Amazing.
But, perfect storm this year. It was dry and they came down quick.
And
so.
big winds.
Yeah, that helped too, yeah.
All right. I'll make a motion to accept the monthly report for December 2022.
Second?
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Jake Palmsall,
Yes. All right, now on to the annual report for 2022.
Yeah, we hauled a total of 2,425 loads of brush and 728 loads of compost bags. We picked up 422 loads of street sweepings, and the sweepers ran a total of 2,600 miles. Already mentioned, 181 loads with the leaf back. Contractors took 237 loads of brush to our compost site. We removed Freon from 26 items. 11,298 pounds of metal we recycled. Went through 530 ton of salt, 860 ton of stone, 1,500 ton of sand, and 170 ton of bituminous. Replaced 195 signs, did 22 property cleanups. Erie Avenue was started, will be finished in the spring with a grant. We did 22nd Street from Otto to Smead, where it had blown up the previous year. Had 10 residents use the 50/50 program. 2 residents used 50/50 for curbs and gutters. Did 3 more ADA corners with the money from 50/50. We got a new sweeper. We got 2 new pickup trucks, a new trailer, and a new plow and salt box. 17 emergency call-outs for salting and sanding, and 46 for trees down and signs down and traffic lights malfunctioning.
Good stuff. Thanks for what you guys did this year.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept the annual report for the street department.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question?
Jacob Palmsall,
Yes.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
All right. Now on to application for curb street cut for 1401 College Street.
Right, yeah, this was one where they had, sewage backing up into their basement. It's already done, it's already been fixed, it's already been cemented, everything's completed, I've checked on it. I just can't tell somebody,
Yeah.
wait till the Board of Works to get rid of the sewage in their
Oh,
basement.
these are the easiest ones.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's all done and they did it well, so.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the curb street cut for 1401 College Street.
Second.
Call for question?
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Jacob Palmsall,
Yes. All right. Now we have application for curb street cut for, where was this one? West Market Street?
It's lengthy, yeah. It's Miami Cass Rural Electric doing, they're installing some fiber optics. All of it's in the right
it's
of
a
way,
bunch
and all
of
of it's
them, okay.
boring under, so no asphalt will be disturbed on this one.
Fiber optic cable installation.
Right.
Okay. I will make a motion to accept the curb street cut request for Miami Cass REMC for areas along West Market Street, Cliff Drive, and Psychic Street.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Palmsall,
Yes.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
All right. Now to request for signs for a no parking sign
Yeah, these were.
along the boulevard.
These were requested by Jan for the boulevard, just to restrict parking during the week from 7 to 4, so they don't have to mow around parked vehicles.
So is there parking supposed to be there at other times? Or I feel like if you put no parking between these hours, if you're
I mean,
outside of those hours,
no, I mean, there's not supposed to be parking. People do, I mean,
who would do it anyway?
contractors who are mowing, they pull up in there to unload their mowers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been that way. People have always parked in there, and, the curb there's so old that it's,
Yeah.
an inch or two high. It's not a problem for people to drive right over it and pull up there. And, they don't have parking out in front of their house. They all have driveways, but, yeah.
Okay. So no parking weekdays from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on that middle section of the boulevard
Right, on weekdays.
on weekdays. Okay. Well, I will make a motion to approve the sign.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Palmsall,
Yes.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Okay. And then we have a sign request for no overnight parking at Riverside Park.
Right, this is to possibly encourage the construction company that parks vehicles there all the time. But, I mean, technically the park closes at 10 anyway. This is time to maybe gentle nudge to find a better place to store all your equipment.
So how many signs would you envision for this? Just a couple at
Yeah, I mean,
just at the entrances, or?
probably.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the sign request for no overnight parking at Riverside Park.
Second.
Any further discussion?
I do have one. Is
Yeah.
that something we can add in the city ordinance? Because I know in the city ordinances, we have no downtown parking, or no overnight parking in downtown. The park's closed at 10 o'clock, so if that's something, instead of putting signs up, we can just add to the city ordinance that says no overnight parking in any of the city parks.
It's actually already in the ordinance that we just passed on rules, that there's no overnight parking in any park at all.
Yeah.
But this is the one that's really causing problems
Is it the
right
one
now.
on the west end of the park, is that what?
The southwest corner, yeah, that,
Yeah, it's the
As long as it's-
street parking.
Shares it.
Yeah, that's kind of the weird part.
Okay, that's what I knew we had a
Right now,
meeting.
it's in the park's rules, but it's not.
Yeah. Okay. Call for question.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Jacob Almasaw,
Yes. Thanks, Tony. All right, community development, monthly report for December 2022. Morning, Rob.
For the month of December, total deposits for the month, $10,430 for 145 permits. We had 26 building permits, one change of occupancy. We had electric permits, 5, one temporary use. And that's it for the month of December.
All right. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the Community Development Department's monthly report for December 2022.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Almasaw,
Yes.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Okay, on to the annual report for 2022.
For the year of 2022, we had $128,634.55 for 1,454 permits. Electrical license, there were 74 electrical license for the year. Building permits, 544. There was 2 demolition permits. Electrical permits for the year was 47, and 3 home occupancies. And that compares to the year of 2021, we had $12,464 for 1,275 permits. So we had an increase in the year.
Well, great work. Thanks for what you guys did this year. Good year in Logansport.
That's awesome.
So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the annual report for the Community Development Department.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Almasaw,
Yes.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
All right, now to Building Inspector, House Fire Emergency Condemnation for 10 West Miami Avenue.
Yeah, December 24th, 10 West Miami, house fire, emergency condemnation. Like Fire Chief said, this was a total loss. I will be coming back for an order of demolition on this, and I will probably need to get this boarded up after the fire investigation is completed.
I'll make a motion to approve the House Fire Emergency Condemnation for 10 West Miami Avenue.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Adrian Grant, Jacob Almasaw,
Yes. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Code Enforcement, weekly report. Randy?
All right, last week we had 26 new trash violations issued. I have 14 cleared. We had 16 new container warnings sent out. We tagged 4 more cars last week. I got 4 that were cleared by the owner. And then we had no notices to appear sent last week. I got 2 properties we brought before the Board of Works, and we ordered 2 property cleanups.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept the Code Enforcement's weekly report.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Jacob Almasaw,
Yes. All right, on to request for property cleanup, multiple violation properties. We have 515 West Broadway. Is anyone here to represent 515 West Broadway? Seeing none, Randy, go ahead.
This one started on 12/15. This was a simple mattress located on the property, wasn't wrapped. They've had 2 bulk pickup days since then, and it's still sitting there. I've had no contact with the property owner. I have spoke to a couple tenants there and explained what to do, but their bulk pickup was today, and I was right behind the trash guy this morning, and they don't have it wrapped or nothing, it's still sitting there.
All right. Yep, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the property cleanup for 515 West Broadway.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Jacob Holmesall,
Yes. All right, now on to cleanup request for 203 North Sycott Street. Is anyone here to represent 203 North Sycott Street? Seeing none, Randy, go ahead.
All right, this one started December 15th as well. Same thing, there was mattresses located on the street. There's some cushions there too, or padding there. There's carpet and building material beside the house. I reached out and tried to get the people there to communicate with me, let them know what they need to do. I've had no response from any of them. And it's still sitting as of this morning, same position, right on Sycott Street.
Pickup isn't until the fourth
Yep,
Tuesday.
till the 4th of the month. So they've already had a bulk pickup since this all started.
Next one won't be for a couple of weeks, so it's not like we're waiting
Yep.
2 days to see if it'll get picked up. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the property cleanup request for 203 North Sycott Street.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Holmesall,
Yes.
Adrian Grant.
Yes.
Thanks, Randy.
Thanks.
All right. Board member comments? Adrian, you have anything?
None today.
No? Just hope everybody had a good Christmas and New Year's, and glad to be back in the swing of things. So I think it's going to be a good year in Logosport.
Yes, it
So,
is.
miscellaneous business and any matters not already considered, including ADA Section 504 compliance or concerns. And seeing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, call for question.
Jacob Holmesall,
Yes.
Adrian Grant.
Yes.
All right, we're adjourned, 10:13 a.m. Thanks, everybody.
I think people would say.
So the only issue we have, each judge is. We have a judge attack. Officer will take it, say, 6 o'clock in the evening, and he said that he didn't find it.
There's your first one.
It said school zone, but his mind was, well, the school's not in session, why is it that much? You know what I mean? Each judge should be different, that was one of the things that they rule sometimes. So, I don't understand why they do it. Well,
Yes.
yeah,
Did you get the email here, Michelle?
There's your claims. She doesn't have to, I think, because it's coming through the Board of Works, so just you.
I've only seen the ones where it's like when the lights are on, it's like where it's yellow, but like
When the lights flashing.